Ah!
Hi, my name is Austin Finiak, and this is my package defense system for MEGN200. So this is my code logic flowchart. My two input devices are an IR signal receiver and a light level detector, aka photometer. So what happens is that there are two buttons that are possible to receive from the IR controller, an on and off button, in this case corresponding to 0 and 1. So if the system receives the 1 command, which is a 12, the system becomes armed and turns on an LED to represent that the system is armed. If the system receives the 0 command, it will receive a 22 and the system will be disarmed, which will turn the LED off. Now, there's also a light level detector input device happening. So this light level detects that the box has been opened by seeing when the light levels in the box go over certain thresholds. When the box is closed, the light levels will be under that threshold, and then as soon as it's opened, any amount of light will trigger that threshold, and thus show that the thief has opened the box. So then, after this light level shows that the box has been opened, the code checks if the box is armed. If yes, the box is armed, it activates a defense system, which in turn activates a servo, and we already saw what happens to the thief when that happens, but it activates a servo, and if the box is not armed, even if the light level is detected, the box will do nothing, because it's not armed and therefore is not supposed to be activating the defense system regardless. This is my circuit diagram. So there's 2 input devices and 2 output devices, 4 total. So in the top left here, there's my IR receiver. This is how I issue commands to arm and disarm the defensive system. This is my LED, which shows whether or not the system is armed or disarmed. This is my light level detector, which will detect when the box has been opened. And this is my servo, which detects which activates upon the box being opened and armed, and uses the defensive system to stop the thief from stealing the package. This is all wired, the 220 and the 10K resistors for the necessary parts. Yep, that's it. And then this is my commented code, so it might be a little hard to see. Hopefully it's all sufficiently visible. But so what's going on here is that first I'm setting up all my pins. So my IR pin is 3, my LED pin is 5, photoresistor pin is A0, and then I activate my servo. The default of the armed system is false, obviously, because I don't want it to activate as soon as I turn on the Arduino. And then I initialize my variable that will check for the light level. So then in my setup code, very simple, I start my serial monitor, which was used for debugging. I start my IR receiver. I start my servo and set it to a default position, and I start my LED. All the normal stuff. So then the first step in my loop code is to check for IR signals. So this first if statement only activates if there's an IR symbol. If there is an IR signal, then it checks whether it's a disarm or arm, and it does so. And then it waits half a second before checking again, and continues checking. Then, next, the box checks if the system is armed, and if it is, it turns on the LED. If not, it turns off the LED. This is to show whether or not the box is armed without having to test whether or not the defense system will activate. Now, after this, we have some more debugging code. And then we take our light level readings. This will happen every time the loop runs. And then we check, is the box armed? And if the box is armed, is the light level inside the box over 50? Which means that the box has been opened. So, if both of these are true, it's armed and the box has been opened, we write our servo to the 180-degree position, which activates the defensive system. Otherwise, it brings it back to 90, which is the default position, and it just continues doing nothing. So it waits for the box to be opened. And then we delay by half a second because we don't want to check this every single second. It's not necessary. So that's it.